Good afternoon, everyone. Moving ahead with improving the research output of Atma University, we are doing our, around fourth session today, but the topic is going to be the third one, which is reference management tools. Just a quick recap. In the first session, we talked about, having a researcher's ID before we move on with our research endeavor. I talked about the ORCID ID and researcher gate and things like that. I, in the second session, talked about the research topics which was my personal input to you. That is 169 targets of 17 goals set up by UN under the Sustainable Development Goals, or the Global Goals as it is called. And yesterday we talked about research topics, how do we find them very specifically to our domain of study. Today I'm going to talk about another very important endeavor, or another important skill that all the researchers should have. They should be able to use one or the other reference management tool. Just to talk about what does the reference management tool help us do, I'll be sending you a PPT which will talk in more detail about it. And basically it is used to manage all the references that we are going to use into our research, and it really makes the researcher's life very easy. We'll be seeing a demo of how it is done. There are a number of reference management softwares that are available, like Mendeley, Easy BIP, or EndNote, or Zotero, JebRef, etc. RefWorks and EndNote are paid services, but when we talk about Mendeley or Zotero, they are in open access, so you can use one of them. I'm personally going to talk about Mendeley, so you can just Google for Mendeley, and you'll be able to download the desktop version of the same. It is available for all the operating systems, that is Windows, Linux, as well as the Mac OS. Secondly, I would also recommend that you should have an Mendeley web importer for the browser that you are using. Like maybe if you are using a Firefox or Chrome, you can install the web importer, which will be like this, as I'm showing here on the screen. Now after you have done this, this is how the desktop version looks like. So this is my Mendeley account. So there are options, like you can create a folder, like for example if I'm creating a folder today, say session 3, and you can create it according to the chapters of your research, or if you're writing a particular paper for a particular conference or things like that. So accordingly you can create your folders over here. So I've just created a new folder. You can use the create folder option and create the folder. There are different tools available here, that is install the web importer. You can also install the MS Word plugin. I will be giving a demo of how it helps as far as writing with Word. So this is the way the articles that the articles that you're going to use into that particular research, they will be kind of listed out over here like this. So let us just go and see how it is done. Now for example, if I'm doing a Google search on Google Scholar, especially online learning by Librarian, this is the topic. So moment I click on this, it will show the web importer. It will show all these links over here. So for example, if I'm interested in the different links that they are showing over here, let us say I'm interested in this article, I'm also interested in this article, and maybe I'm also interested in this article. So I can just click on them and just say add. So that I can also select, like for example, where exactly do I want it to be added. So I have created the folder today. Let us say I've created just a second. So if I have just add to this, and it will be populated into that particular folder. Same way, if I click on any of the articles, and if I just click on the Mendeley this, it will kind of ask me about, okay, where do you want this thing to be populated. So you can actually click on any of the folders and say, okay, please add it into this folder. It will also kind of list out all the PDFs or the web page references that are there over here, and you can actually kind of add it to your reference management tool. So if I go into my today's folder, you'll be able to kind of see what's happening into your Mendeley account. So very soon it will be populated. Again, at the same time, like if you want to have an online, what I'm showing you is of desktop. This is the desktop version. But if you want to have it online, then you can just log into your account online, and you can just click on the library, and you'll be able to kind of see all those articles, just like we were able to see. So all those, the same thing would be available. What we can do is, whatever we are doing offline, we can just do a sync and it will be uploaded into the online version. Okay, so as we were seeing, all those things are getting accumulated over here. It is kind of showing me the details over here. It will also help me do the corrections if I feel no, this is not what is the content, etc. So otherwise I can just say details are correct, and it will be able to populate all that data. At the same time, you can make some notes like this is an useful paper for the comparative study or something like that, and I can store it for my further reference. So similarly, supposing if I've already downloaded the articles into and I've not yet used the reference management tools, you can just say add files and import all those PDFs that you have kind of downloaded from wherever you have downloaded it, and just say okay, and that will also be populated into this particular the folder that you are looking forward for. So that is also another useful information that is available to you. It's very simple. You can explore it by yourself. Secondly, as I said, if you once you have added, it will all be populated over here. And there's another interesting thing that you can do with the Word. So for example, if I am trying to start writing the paper, and I say okay, so and so, let us say, like I can go to my library, go to Mendeley, say I'm writing some papers related to this. Okay, so I can just say cite, and it will take here, right, and it will say in their paper mention or elaborate on the importance of reading habits. Okay, in another paper, and then I kind of maybe I go back to another reference over here, and I say cite. Okay, it will automatically come in the APA style, and I'll say it has also highlighted on the impact of social media on reading habits. So likewise, and at the end of the paper, once you have finished writing your paper, you can just say insert bibliography. So if you can observe, the citations have been automatically populated. So this is another very useful tool that Mendeley offers to you. So this is very interesting, and you can also choose that, okay, I don't want it in this style, but I want it in this style, and then it will automatically do the needful if you have just observed the changes. Now if you observe another change, it will automatically do that. Depending upon the journal that you are planning to send, the citation styles would be different. We'll be talking about the citation styles in the tomorrow's session. But for now, I think this should be enough. And secondly, supposing if I want to kind of view all this in, let us say I want to see it in Chicago style, and I want to export these records as a bibtex file, and I'll say okay, my citations, and that thing I can take into another tool if I want to, right? So all this is possible, and also you can export PDF with notations. So, and if I say okay, I want it to be put as a desktop document, and I'll just select a folder, and I will say fine, select the folder here. So it will help you create a whole list of all these references with annotations. So that is another interesting feature you can look into. And also you can just copy as formatted citation and straight away take it into your Word file and paste it. So once you paste it, all the citations are here. I am going to send you some of these links which are going to be very useful to you to work with Mendeley. Believe me, it is going to be worth exploring the tool, and I look forward for getting some of your queries. Thank you so much, and happy surfing. Stay home, stay safe.